How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Blue Shifting and welcome back to Riddle Joker, I don't know. It's riddles and it's jokes and it's full of riddles and jokes and girls and all that good stuff as you're currently used to. Anyway, we're back and the squad has been out sneaking around and hacking into the database. Things have gone relatively well, except for like at the crux of our greatest achievement, an alarm randomly started going off, though we quickly realized it seemed not to be about us, but about something else going on. So, naturally, we went sprinting off to go and figure out what's going on, because, that's what we do. Big bad heroes, right? Anyway, so we're going to be finding out what's going on there and continue our adventures as we continue to try and figure out some of the more interesting things that have been going on, trying to find out who the culprit is, who's been committing crimes before they can go much further, and hopefully kind of maybe we can apprehend them and reel them in, or even heck recruit them so they start working for a proper organization, assuming we're proper. Who knows, maybe we're the baddies after all, but assuming it'd be better than to just let them run random and rambunctiously. So we're doing our investigations here, but yeah, we're continuing on. We're going to see what kind of hijinks we're going to get into tonight, because I get the feeling that Ayase is about to be assaulted or attempted to be assaulted by some of her fans, because the more extreme fans can be more or less rabid animals. So let's see how things play out here, but hope you guys enjoyed. Jump on in and let's see what happens today.
疲れましたか？あ、いえ、すみません。少しだけ。謝らなければいけないのはこちらです。ごめんなさい。いろいろと頼ることが多くて。今週はもう仕事の予定もありません。ゆっくりしてください。はい、ありがとうございます。
It's crazy that she's supposed to be a full-time student, head of the school, she's the president of the school student council, and she's effectively the face and celebrity of the entire school. She should be being paid for this. I hope she is in some way.
それでは先生、私は寮に戻ります。ええ、ぐっすり寝て休んでください。はい、それでは。セキュリティアラーム。一体何が。
綾瀬ちゃん。
Oh.
本物の綾瀬ちゃんだ。
Oh, that's creepy.
何者です。
いや、違う。俺は決して怪しいものではなくて。
You're already doing something bad.
ただ俺は綾瀬ちゃんに会えるって聞いたから。本当に会えたよ。
Okay, who told you?
侵入者。警備は何を。三笠さんは私の後ろへ。ここは関係者以外立ち入り禁止の場所です。どうやってここに入ってきたんですか。
うるさいな。俺は綾瀬ちゃんに会いに来ただけで、あんたに用はないんだよ。
It's another great reason why I love listening to visual novels in the native language. I know there are some you can get dubs for. I would prefer not to, because again, just like with anime, the vocalization and the talent is so good. I can hear the kind of character that's being portrayed as this unknown creeper through the voice acting. I can't understand the Japanese except for maybe few phrases or little bits and pieces, but you don't need to get that feel of exactly what kind of person this is, what emotions they're feeling, and exactly how he says he's not a bad guy, but he's kind of unhinged. You get that feel with the tremble in the voice and the pitch changes and everything. It's really, really well done. It's just beautiful.
侵入者はあそこだ。急げ。綾瀬ちゃん、ぜひ握手とサインを。こら、よさないか。おとなしくしろ。せめて握手を。綾瀬ちゃん。
三笠さんは寮に戻ってください。ですが、柿本先生。あなたがここにいては、彼は興奮したままです。まずは、彼に落ち着きを取り戻してもらわないと、話もできません。ですから、ここは私たちに任せて、戻ってください。わかりました。
こいつ、どこから入ったんだ。どうやってセキュリティを突破した。知らない。セキュリティなんてなかったぞ。俺はただ メールで教えられた通りの時間に来ただけで。
So who's trying to is like this almost seems like it could be a concerted effort to try and get her harmed somehow, you know, like find a rabid fan, persuade them to try and sneak in, provide an opening and see what happens.
そしたら本当に綾瀬ちゃんがいたから。
So who set this up?
メールだと？
そのメールの主は誰ですか？
知らないよ。フリーのアドレスだったんだ。そんなメールに従ったっていうのか？だって本物を生で見れるって書かれてたから。そしたら本当に見られた。
The problem is when they let him go, he's gonna share this story. Most people are gonna say it's hogwash, but the few people who are consistent enough and crazy enough might fall for it, which means this might be the first in a long line of security breaches if they're being aided by somebody on the inside.
そんなバカな。とにかく詳しい話を聞かせてもらう。さあ立って。言いたいって。
That is actually very concerning.
びっくりした。まさか学院の敷地内にまで入ってくる人がいるなんて。でもどうやって中まで入ってきたんだろう。
それを誘導した人間がいるということだ。
Uh-oh. Oh, that's even scarier, actually. Satoru. I don't sense anyone nearby. I really want to figure out what the security guards are right now, or where the security guards are right now, though. Ugh. I picked up on a faint sound through their sharpened hearing. It's a voice. Without a moment's delay, I took off running in the direction it came from. Huh? Upon reaching the location, I immediately stupefied at the sight I'm witnessing. It's Mitsukasa-san. She's in some fancy-looking outfit, which I'm assuming means she was on her way back from that interview she mentioned during lunch today. She's kicking and screaming as these two men in all black faces covered in ski masks try to seize her. Fetch! This escalated really quick! Honestly, it fit right in if given the outfit I'm wearing now. But anyway, what the heck's going on? Should I go ahead and assume these are the guys that triggered the alarm? But if that were the case, then where's security? You'd think they'd come rushing over. Who are these people and what are they after? Kyohei mentioned Mitsukasa-san having some rather rabid fans, but I have an inkling these fellows aren't exactly fans of hers. They give off a criminal vibe. The whole thing is, they actually are in a space that's not covered by security cameras right now. Don't tell me they did that intentionally.
あなたたちは何者？私に何をするつもり？
静かにしろ。
One of the two men suddenly pulls out a knife. Okay. Getting real serious. This is bad. Really bad. He's about to pull the blade against her neck. Yeah, security. Already one else for that might save her is nowhere in sight. Actually, on second thought, what would they even be able to do? These men already have her at knife point. Saving her isn't my priority. I have my own very crucial mission to worry about. And if I try anything here, it could potentially put that very crucial mission in jeopardy. I know I shouldn't step in, but I can't just sit by and watch this. Good man, I was about to say. Those bees are about to hurt her. I spring into motion, leaving my covered location. I make a beeline for the two men in black. Get away from her! My first course of action is to draw their attention toward me.
高額明細だと。
Got him. They both stare at me, flabbergasted. This is a perfect opening for me to do something. The initial shock will wear off in a second or two, so I have to make something happen in that time. Get the guy with the knife off Mitsukasa-san. Slam my elbow into his abdomen, knocking him away from her. It makes him stagger some. However, he doesn't collapse and regains his balance shortly after. Uh-oh. I struck him in muscle area, too. I felt the hard, tough tissue. I knew these guys weren't amateurs. I dart back toward him, wasting no time, and knock him into the air. With that uppercut in his chin, his body makes a vertical dive to the ground, and he loses consciousness. And he might have died! Fetch! Sweet, that's one down. The other guy has regained his composure now, is glaring at me menacingly. Okay, think about it. We might be in like loopy anime land here, so maybe it's not true. But if you can uppercut somebody to the lower jaw with enough force to lift them off the ground and arc them so they land effectively head first to the ground, that's probably enough to sever the spine. Like, maybe not like literally rip the head off or anything, but with enough that force, it would like crack your head back so hard and so powerfully. Like, if you didn't snap your neck, you'd be so close to it. Like, you'd definitely be unconscious. You'd probably not have much of a jaw left either. He closes in on me with fluid motions. I look at his hands and see a knife in it. He immediately tries to slash me once he's in range. But my uniform stealth works wonders in this darkness. It should be impossible for him to ascertain my precise location. Knowing the situation is fully in my control, I continue dodging his attempts with ease. The range and impatience is gradually starting to make his movements sloppier. Once I find a good opening, I instantly grab his arm and lock it. The man drops his knife and groans in pain. Now that I have him fully restrained, I hit him with one last blow. His body goes limp and he sinks to the ground unconscious. With him out of the way, I've now taken out both the assailants. But I still have one more thing to worry about. Well, crap. I'm so screwed. I saw an innocent girl in serious danger. Considering her life was threatened, I didn't regard what I'd do if I got in the slightest. Honestly, this is the reason I joined the SFD in the first place. I wanted to use my powers to help others. I know I'll likely receive punishment of some sort for this, but I wasn't prepared to do that when I stepped in. Still though, now my dad has to deal with this mess I've created, and I feel a bit bad about it. Maybe I could just not report this? Now, what am I thinking? That's a terrible idea. I'll report everything faithfully and accept whatever punishment I'm given. Good man! I like this main character so far. He actually thinks with his brain half the time. Still an idiot with women, but you know, I am too, so I can't really fault him for that. The stealth function in my uniform is still in effect, so she can't have seen my face. I can think about the repercussions later. First, I need to get out of here ASAP. But the instant I try to move my foot, a hand grabs it. Oh, you suck! Ah! Did I not hit him hard enough? The guy I knocked out first is back up. He regained consciousness a lot quicker than I anticipated. He lifts his arm and slashes my flank with his knife. Or would have. Mitsukasa-san was blocking the way. Oh, fetch! What? Mitsukasa-san! She was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. After the knife slices her, she tumbles back lifelessly. You son of a bee! I send the man flying with a strong kick to the head. Hopefully this should be out for good this time. Leaving him, I run over to Mitsukasa-san, who's lying on the ground. Are you okay? Calm down, I'm not with those guys. I won't hurt you. Dang it! Why are you so memorable with names and faces? I just activate stealth mode to skip the explanation. We don't have time. Worry about that later. We need to take care of that laceration in your chest first. If we don't stop the bleeding quickly, you'll be in big trouble. How? That was a knife like across the chest. How? That guy slashed you with his knife. I saw it with my own two eyes. That can't be a misunderstanding. Quick, show me the wound. I need to apply first aid ASAP. I kind of see why she's freaking out because her shirt's been slashed, but not her skin, but that's really interesting. Ah! She tries to slide backward away from me, frightened. But I quickly and forcefully pry away her arm, and she's using to hold down her chest area. I gotcha. The torn fabric of her shirt just juts open, exposing her cleavage. That knife cut deep. I can see part of her bra, embarrassingly enough, and now isn't the time for that. Actually, the fact that even her bra was cut in half only goes to show that this really was a deep cut. So it's interesting here because like you can see where like the original bra is, and then you can see the edited bra. Gosh darn it, the editing is so cheesy. Who did that? Someone put in the comments in the Discord, and I fully agree, would have been much better if they'd just done the classic light beams or steam clouds or, you know, convenient stuff. Like, I don't know, having double bras just feels really cheesy. And there's one thing that doesn't quite add up. Where's the blood? With a cut that severe, it makes no sense for there to be no blood at all. I noticed something else on the ground, however. Are those your breasts? No. Oh my gosh, no way. Are you serious? Wait, what are these? The possibility that part of her cleavage had been cut off actually crossed my mind for a second, but that doesn't seem to be what I'm looking at. It's something oblong-shaped and made of fabric. I've never actually seen them before, but I think I know what these are. Breast pads? Oh my gosh! Actually, on second glance, there's more than just cloth pads. Beneath the normal bra, I see a second silicone bra. Oh, there are two! She really went the extra mile on those paddings. So I guess is what it means when the knife cut deep, but wasn't able to penetrate the thick layer of her breast paddings. You might even say that her life itself was saved due to the noble sacrifice of her pads. But back to the problem at hand. I need to do something to calm the situation. Her eyes are open as wide as they physically can, and she's absolutely petrified. But what even can I do? They say that every girl has her secrets, but this one seemed to be the kind of deep secret that she wouldn't want to share with her closest female friends. Yet I, a guy, have now stumbled upon it by accident. So does she just never use the communal bath? Or does she just go super late so she's always by herself? Interesting. This implies a lot about her as a person. She's definitely grown in, like, character. I'm certainly confused because, again, I've always said, like, she probably puts on a front. I didn't realize it was this much of a front. Well, here's the thing. You know my secret now, kind of. I know your secret now, kind of. Looks like we have a mutually beneficial arrangement here. Her face is red as a tomato. She looks like she's about to cry at any second. Calm down, just calm down. I need some guards to apprehend the two assailants, but the situation I'm currently in doesn't paint a pretty picture of me. Okay, just take a deep breath and think things through. Look, I'm sorry. I just thought you were seriously injured and, well, panicked. How was I supposed to know the pads blocked the impact? I mean, I'm still half in disbelief of what you said, but it is what it is. I guess the true hero of the day are those pads of yours. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Come. No. There's some danger here. No, I promise. I'm not judging too much. Like, we're passing judgment. It's behind us now. We simply need to not die tonight, and then you can hate me. Please don't even do that. But let's at least move forward. Not sit here spinning on treads in the mud. Oh my gosh. Why are you glaring at me? What do you sound like? You want to kill me right this instant? Wait, Captain Flat Earth? Oh, what is this? What? I never called you that! Crap! Crap, this is bad. I need to get out of here pronto. Look, I can tell you some stuff later, but you've got to promise to not spill the beans and let me go. I don't know how to explain that to you. That's a very good question. Crap, the voices are getting louder. I don't have much more time to waste. Look, okay, I'm here to protect you. Only after the fact that I realized the stupidity of what was just blurted out.
Riddle Joker.
So how did we get out of that? How? I'm confused. Also intrigued. Uh-oh. So we went with it. I wasn't thinking, okay? I apologize. I instantly regretted it after I said it. I'm fully aware of the gravity of my actions. So we investigated the potential suspects involved in the counterfeit money case. Found the two. Their names are Ono Kyokukuna Kyokuni and Suga Hideto. Based on the profiles of both the individuals, you believe that Suga Hideto is the most likely one.
その2人については警察が確保。取り調べ中か。で、問題はその後だな。
Yeah. By some stroke of bad luck, there happened to be other intruders on the school campus at the same time we were hacking into the database. They seemed to be after Mitsukasa Ayase, who I assume you already know of. While I was in the middle of scouting our escape route, I stumbled upon them trying to kidnap her. One of them pulled out a knife, so fearing the worst, I jumped in and took them out.
その際、お前の顔を見られたわけだな。
Yeah, that's
その上、ステルス機能まで。
the worst part of this. She did. Once again, I'm sorry. I didn't want to think about what might happen to her if I didn't intervene.
ま、そういう現場に遭遇したら人命を優先する。お前はそういうやつだと分かってはいたしな。
I'm terrible at a secret agent, yes.
親としては人を助けられる人間で嬉しく思ってはいるんだが、任務の観点から見れば落第だわな。
Well, okay. I know.
嘆いたところでやっちゃったもんは仕方ない。で、彼女にどこまで打ち明けたんだ。まさかバカ正直に突版のことをベラベラ喋ったわけじゃなかろうな。
No, all I told her was, okay, we're jumping back. I'm here to protect you.
はぁ？何言ってるの？
Look, I understand your confusion, but we have more pressing matters on our hands right now. Nobody can find out I was here. So I need you to tell Kamimoto-sensei that you took out those two men. Please help me out. This is really important. I deeply bow to her once more. All Mitsukasa-san does, however, is continue to stare at me in confusion. Normally, the manlier thing to do in this situation is to keep one's head bowed until the other party speaks, but... I gotta go! I have to go now. Sorry again.
ねえ、ちょっと！
Ignoring her response, I turn around. I run off into the trees, turn my stealth function back on. Mere seconds later, Kakimoto-sensei and a group of security guards are standing where I once was.
Mitsukasa-san, 大丈夫ですか?
Mitsukasa. So she's saying the Sue really quietly there. So Mitsukasa. I'm gonna try and say that right. I'm probably gonna mess it up from now on because I usually focus on trying to at least say the syllables remotely correctly. So Mitsukasa. Okay.
先生、何があったんです？詳しいことはわかりません。そこの二人に襲われて撃退したのですね。はい。私が能力で撃退しました。
Interesting.
すみません。
I wonder what her ability is.
いえ、相手はナイフで武装しているんです。当然のことです。それよりも、三笠さんの方に怪我は、その格好、もしや切られたんですか？え？いや、これは大丈夫です。シャツを切られただけで、怪我はしていませんから。本当ですか？はい。かすり傷一つありません。本当です。わかりました。ではこの場は警備に任せて一緒に寮まで戻りましょう。申し訳ない。侵入者が一人だと決めつけ、あなたを一人にしてしまった私のミスです。
I can understand. It was actually pretty clever because, like, obviously, like, it seems so inconceivable that somebody could breach the area that she wanted to immediately figure out how it had happened, foregoing the idea that perhaps it was not just one. And in truth, it was actually, that intruder was a cover for the actual intruders.
先ほどの三笠さんのファンは陽動だったとは。先生、実は。
Excuse me. Sorry. I'm still recovering.
何ですか？すみません。何でもありません。
Interesting. I wonder why she decided to keep the secret.
今のところ彼女は秘密を守ってくれているということだな。
Yeah. Heavy emphasis on for the time being, though. If I had to guess, I'd say she's currently trying to figure me out. Namely, figure out if I'm a person she can trust, and if I am, she keeps my secret. But if I'm not, she reports me.
ステルスを解除したとき、カメラは
No, the men chose a blind spot for their attack, so there should be no footage of me in the attack or Mitsukasa-san as a whole. I'd say it was actually an intentional choice by them. They must have known.
突発的ではなく計画的な犯行だな。そっちも気になるが、今はお前の話だ。
There actually might be a precedent for us to get involved, because if we do track down, like, it sounds like we might have tracked down who we needed to track down, but maybe she is in danger, and it would be bad if something happened to her, so maybe her getting protection is not a terrible thing.
ともかく最悪の事態は避けられているんだな。
Well, I haven't been summoned by a teacher or any other school faculty member.
では、三笠綾瀬の信用をこのまま勝ち取ることができれば、被害は最小限にとどまるわけだ。とりあえず、自分で蒔いた種は自分で刈り取れ。
I agree. What do you mean?
君を守るってかっこよく言ったんだろ。その責任を取るしかないだろう。
Am I getting any punishment from the organization?
偽札の件もまだ片付いていない。こんな状況で処分と言われても、まあとりあえず減給は確定な。
Oh, that hurts. Okay.
その上で有原悟、お前には任務を与える。三笠綾瀬を守れ。
Interesting. Interesting indeed. You want me to do that in conjunction with the infiltration mission I'm currently on? Here I was thinking you were going to pull me off entirely.
言っただろう。吉川学院に潜入させるのはお前たちがちょうどいいんだ。だいたいそこを退学扱いになった学生を受け入れてくれるようなところはないぞ。
Oh.
生活態度に問題のあるアストラル使いだと決めつけられる。
You could have told me that before we came here. I mean, that's a decent point.
ちゃんと卒業ぐらいはしといてもらわないと父親としても困る。
Understood.
それに襲撃犯は素人ではなかったんだろう。一度の襲撃で終わったという保証もない。お前だって気づいてるはずだ。
Right.
どうせ見過ごすわけにはいかないって動くんだろ。
Well, now especially.
だったらこっちでも把握してる方がまだマシだよ。
Thank you.
いい、謝るな。言ったはずだぞ。親としては嬉しいって。
Ryunosuke is pretty cool. I like him. He's a good boss and dad.
それに三笠綾瀬はアストラル使いの今後にも影響を及ぼすかもしれない。
Is she that big of a deal even among the general public?
いや、ネットで人気があろうとも、所詮はただの一学生に過ぎない。だが、もし仮に彼女が何者かに殺害されたとする。その理由はアストラル使いだから。なんてことになりかねない。
So, in the big scheme, she might not be the most pivotal person, but because she's prominent, it could have a rippling effect. It's unlikely that everyone would say those things, but still, a significant enough portion of the population still harbors ill feelings toward Astrals. We still have a long way to go as a society before Astrals are truly accepted.
それは圧力を生み、日本はアストラルに関する研究で諸外国から遅れを取る。そうなれば、国益を損なうことにもつながる。
Alright, I can see where you're going.
かもしれない。
Very hypothetical.
建前を作ってやってるんだから文句言うな。
Thank you, man.
命の危険があるのに、見て見ぬふりができないのは俺も同じだ。彼女の護衛は任務とする。こちらでもできる限りはサポートもする。
Alright, thank you.
とにかくお前は三笠綾瀬と話を済ませろ。
So, next question would be, what can I tell her? Now I've officially been given the mission. Obviously, we don't want to tell her who I work for. That's going to be a sticking point.
そこで失敗して学院に報告されたら全てがおじゃんだ。さすがにその時は覚悟するように。
Right, so this is effectively a black mission where you have deniability. Roger that.
偽札の件はこちらの連絡を待て。お仕置きについては裏付けを取ってからだ。以上、通信終了。
Right.
おはようございます、有原くん。
Hi, Ayase. I have a feeling we need to go talk. After ending the phone call with my dad, I made my way down to the first floor where Mitsukasa-san was apparently waiting for me. She smiled at me warmly. Good morning.
よかった。ちゃんと朝食に出てきてくれて。もしかしたら突然また転校しちゃうんじゃないかって心配だったんです。
Alright, shush. Thanks to you, I don't think I'll have to worry about anything on that front. But man... Huh. Those voluminous breasts of hers are actually just layer upon layer of padding. Who would have thought? Honestly, I'd have to give her props on craftsmanship. They look as good as real.
何ですか?
Oh, no, sorry. Were you waiting for me by any chance?
はい。後で少し時間をもらえませんか?
Sure, but could you tell me what you want to talk about just in case?
言わせたいんですか? わかってるくせに。
That was terrifying. Sorry, I was just making sure. If she really was good and kind-natured as her personality let on, I'd have no problem getting her to trust me. But as fate would have it, that also seems to be fake, along with her tits. Genuinely, I bet you she's cuter without them. But, oh gosh. She's terrifying. But yeah, we could talk. So until then, I'd appreciate it if you could,
大丈夫。わかってますよ、それぐらい。私より、有原くんこそ。
Yeah, so big grins on our faces will hold each other at knife point proverbially. Oh gosh. oh, no, not at all. I understand.
だったらいいんです。じゃあ、そうですね。お昼休みに学生会室に来てもらえますか?
Sure. Can you give me some time to finish my lunch first?
構いませんよ。今日は取材関係の仕事や打ち合わせもありませんから、どうぞ有原くんのタイミングで。
Alright, so we potentially have a last meal coming up. We better pick our lunch very, very carefully. Thanks.
じゃあ、待ってますからね。
Oh, she's terrifying. Man, that smile is giving me shivers. She isn't gonna, like, try to kill me in there, is she? She might. It depends on what her power is. She might. Oh, no.
で、どうなの? ちゃんと説得できそう?
Maybe. Can you be on standby in case I need healing? No idea yet. She's given me a chance to explain, so hopefully that goes well.
でも、どうして狙われたんだろうね?
I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Knowing that would easily give us the upper hand against them, but as of now, we have no clues to work off of. We probably won't be able to investigate that and the counterfeit money stuff at the same time, unfortunately. We'll probably just have to let the chief handle it.
私に何か手伝えることある?
I mean, okay, here's my thinking. There's obviously someone on the inside. Someone knew the patterns of the security. Somebody knows, like, the camera placements. That means that there's somebody on the inside who's been able to get information out. I don't know who that is, but the thing is like that's a large net, but it's a net that doesn't include like all of Japan. So it means we have a place to start, even if it's not much of a lead. There's someone either actively on the inside who has been on the inside, or at the very least has been able to send operatives in. Just wish me luck, because I'm gonna need it to avoid dying today.
殺されって、サトルくん何したの?
I can't say, even if it meant I died. It's complicated, alright? Nanami's my sister and my work partner, but still, out of respect for Mitsukasa-san, I probably shouldn't tell her about the pads. Nanami, I know you know, but you also know that I must not say. Why are you looking at me like that, Nanami? I didn't even say anything.
なんとなく察しはついた。どうせラッキースケベで何か変なことしたんでしょ。式部先輩の時みたいに。
No, but kind of yes, but not really.
転んでパンティ脱がしたり、服やブラジャー脱がしたり、生でおっぱい揉んだり吸ったり、股間に顔突っ込んだり。
Nanami, you've been playing visual novels. To pull something like that off would require an act of God, and unfortunately, I'm not that special.
でも、それっぽい何かがあったってことなんだ。
Well, I guess, kind of, in a way.
やっぱり。
Look, I promise I'll get her on our side. I'll just spare me whatever insults you have in mind right now, okay? I end the conversation at that. The main reason I did isn't out of my own interest, but rather because there's currently someone running toward us.
Ahaya!
Who are you?
おはようございます、ミブさん。
A short girl runs up to us and shoots a cheerful greeting at Nanami. A classmate of hers, I'm guessing.
どう？学院には慣れた？いえ、今日で2日目なので、すみません。別に謝ったりする必要はないよ。何か困ったことがあったらいつでも声をかけてよ。
Aww.
クラスだけじゃなく寮も一緒なんだから。
Adorable.
ありがとうございます。
I can tell from the tone of Nanami's voice that she's more than a little nervous. But her friend takes no offense from that. Her smile is still as bright as the sun. Oh, come to think of it, Nanami did mention something about this really outgoing girl being in her class. This must be her.
ところで、ちらり。サトルくんは私のお兄ちゃんで。有原さんのお兄さん？そっか。だから雰囲気が教室とは違ってたんだ。
This actually happened to be. I've said this story before in a game a while ago, but it's been a while. I remember I went to this kind of youth revival camp, I guess is a good word for it. Just kind of like it was a Christian kind of activity camp, I would say. Like it was like a social event, but it also mixed like religious classes on it. It was actually really fun and like engaging. It was just a good chance to meet new people and make new friends and all that. And I ended up going to this place. It wasn't one of those weird camps either, where it was like, oh, like you have to do this or believe this. It was an enrichment place. Like I said, it was mostly like we had like dances and like dating games and like field activities and like yoga classes and just like, you know, like it really was like a summer camp. Just had like religious overtones because it was organized by a religion. Anyway, so we went to this camp thing, and again, it was because it was a religious camp, it was encouraged to be, you know, respectful. Nothing crazy. I mean, people like went on dates and stuff, but like you were expected to have a proper decorum and all that stuff, you know, like no drinking or smoking or anything like that. Of course, we were underage, so that's not appropriate anyway, but they were a lot stricter than other organized events might be. So I went there, and I went there with a lot of my cousins. Now, my cousins are around my same age. I had like one that was like a year older than me, one that was like exactly my age, and one that was a year younger than me. They were all girls. We were really close and got along really well. And for my cousins, like I'll say that they definitely were on the more like bubbly, outgoing, and attractive side of the spectrum. You know, they were fairly popular with the guys. And, you know, it's whatever. But I remember one of my cousins was kind of standing and chatting and was kind of surrounded by a group of like 5 guys who were all very plainly like hitting on her, really. Like, you could read in the body language, and like as a guy I could tell. I have no idea if she could tell. I'm sure she did. She seemed to be having fun. She wasn't interested in any of them, but she was just having fun. But like, I didn't really think much of it because, again, she's my cousin. We grew up together. So like, I ran up behind her. And like as a surprise, I kind of grabbed her by the waist and picked her up and spun her around in like a bear hug kind of playful way, you know, like I was just kind of trying to shock her and like get her to scream and yell, and like it was fun. And, you know, she playfully like beat on me and like with her fists, and like it was fun. It also helps that she's on the shorter side. She's smaller, so like it was really easy to pick her up and swing her around, and like so she's laughing and just like we're having a good time. And I look around and all the guys are staring daggers at me like, what the heck? And I remember one of them said like, dude, like what are you doing? That's not appropriate. And like he was kind of leading on the whole like, you know, trying to be like, this is supposed to be like a fun family friendly area, you know. There was no regulations about PDA if you were dating somebody, like, so like he was just being extra touchy, but mostly because I was just like, they were like being really subtle, whereas from their perspective I wasn't. It's like I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, oh, he's my cousin. And they all were like, oh, okay. They all like immediately relaxed, and it was just hilarious. So like when I see people saying this, like, oh, I thought it was weird that you were acting so familiar around him. It's like I went through that exact kind of scenario of like like people who were like, what the heck is going on? You know, were getting all uppity about it. It's a fond memory of mine. And it's one of my favorite stories to tell at like, you know, get together, social stuff. Like if it comes up in the right setting like this, it feels like it's such a relatable experience for me. And I think it's just enjoyable to think about, especially because like they were so like territorial already, even though like they literally just met her that day. But she had and still has a very powerful charisma about her. So I'm not surprised she's a catch, but I just think it was funny because apparently I was seen as a worthy adversary, which I've never felt like I would have been if I were ever in the running of something like that with a comparable person. Again, she was a cousin, but she was more like a sibling to me, really. Like we would spend so much time together growing up, like every summer at the very least. And like during that time, like I think I ended up practically living at their house for like a month. Like we were at the camp for like a week, but I stayed for another few weeks too. Some of my best friends I made from that neighborhood and that school, and like I almost thought about like temporarily transferring to their school because like it was such a fun group of people to be around, you know? Like I said, it was like having a sibling that was my age. It was really great. Anyway, enough of that story. Let's keep going.
自己紹介が遅れてすみません。みぶっちさきって言います。
Now, I think...
有原さんのクラスメイトです。
Hello, hello. Now, her design is kind of characteristic, but for some reason, like, she seems really familiar to me. I wonder if I've seen her in promotional material or a character like her in promotional material in another game, maybe by the same company, or she just is really reminiscent of a character. I think there's a character that looks a lot like her in, like, Princess Stray Cat and Matters of the Heart, but definitely, like, that was, like, Nobu, I think her name was, and she's a very different character, but... physically with the hair color and style, I think is kind of similar, but again, like, I don't think that's the case. I think I'm recognizing her from somewhere else. Ayase Satoru. Nice to meet you. I'm Nanami's older brother by 1 year.
よろしくお願いします、先輩。
Me too. Senpai. Never had any friends younger than me before, so I've never actually experienced someone calling me senpai before. I've got to say though, it's pretty nice. On that note, I hope you can get along with my sister. She can be a bit shy and won't really talk to people unless I talk to her first, but I promise she likes being around other people. If anything, she gets lonely real easy, so please try to make her feel welcome at school.
はい、わかりました。
Oh, hang on. We're having a crisis here. Okay. Alright, I don't know what's going on. Like, the game froze for a second. Please, recording, be okay. Oh man. Okay, we're moving on.
サトルくん、そういう余計なことは言わなくていいから。
I'm your brother. It's gonna be happening. Plus, you're never gonna say it yourself. I did have to, though. I'm your brother, so it's my responsibility to look out for you.
それが余計なの。昨日から会う人に恥ずかしいことばっかり言って。
Hey, just say, you know me really well. I know you pretty well, too. And who's gonna say this stuff if not me? We both know you're way too shy to do that.
だからそういうところが。
She's funny.
サトルくんのせいで笑われちゃったじゃない。バカ。ごめんって。バカにしてるわけじゃないよ。教室と違ってすごく楽しそうだった。私先に行く。あ、待って。それじゃあ先輩、失礼します。
Alright, sorry, I know she's a handful.
はい。
She nods with a big wide smile on her face. After which she immediately chases after Nanami.
ねえ、ななみちゃんって呼んでもいい？平気かな。
Everyone keeps asking her that.
それじゃあななみちゃん、私のことはちさきって呼んで。ぜひ。
I think that's a cute name, Chisaki. It just sounds like bubbly.
ちさきちゃん。ありがとう。
With a friend like that girl, I think Nanami would be more than well off.
ところでななみちゃん、実は変な噂があって、昨日お風呂場で。
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
それは違くて。
I probably need to worry more about myself. I don't know. She's got it bad too, but yeah, it's lunchtime, and I've come to the president's room after eating as promised. I'm currently standing in front of the door, taking deep breaths as I prepare myself. After calming my nerves, I knock on the door.
Hi.
It's me, Arihara. Can I come in?
ちょっと待ってください。
Chotomate. Hearing that, I step a bit away from the door and wait for her to tell me to come in. I hear voices inside. I could probably overhear their conversation. I've used my ability, but yeah, I'm not going to do that. Maybe it's another interview. A second later, however, the door opens and out walks Principal Ayase.
待たせてすまない。彼女と話があったんだ。
That's quite all right, sir. Oh gosh, don't tell me she told him anything about what I did yesterday.
転入してみた感想はどうだね。
Well, I've only been here 2 days, so I'm not sure if my opinion means anything yet. But I do find the Astron science classes to be very interesting.
そうか。学ぶことを楽しめているなら何よりだ。
Man, he looks like he doesn't sleep much.
今後もしっかり学んでほしい。
Yes, I will.
では。
Goodbye, sir. He leisurely walks off. I didn't feel any suspicion from him during that short conversation, which is good. Guess she's abiding by my request, at least for the time being. I mentally prepare myself to knock on the door again.
どうぞ。
Pardon me.
約束通り来てくれたんですね。よかった。
Well, is this just necessary for me as it is for you?
扉は閉めてください。あ、鍵も忘れないでくださいね。
Repelled by the force of her gentle smile, I lock the door just like she said. A clicking noise resounds across the silent room. Oh boy. Sorry, did I interrupt your discussion with the principal?
そんなことはありません。大切な話をしていたわけでもありませんしね。
Uh-huh. Maybe this was a power move to show that you have his ear whenever you want it. Oh, that's good. I was a little worried.
はい。ということで、早速ですが本題に入りましょうか。
I never felt like she's wishing me pain with her eyes before, but here it comes. Then in the blink of an eye, that cherry face drops to a disinterested half frown. The real her.
取り繕うのはここまででいいわよね。どうせもう気づいてるんでしょ？
I already figured her personality was an act when she said she was going to murder me yesterday, but man. It's kind of funny. I didn't know if it was going to be like this, but didn't I kind of call this? Did I say, like, seems like she's not being herself. Like, it feels like she's putting on a front. So this is the real her. Talk about a 180. The difference is like night and day. I'm guessing the real her isn't normally a 180, but when you have to constantly be all flowery and perfect and happy and good at every little thing and always being the best student ever, you've just got to, like, vent it sometimes. Be like, oh, it's like pull the face mask off. I won't say it's a total opposite, but sure as heck wouldn't be calling her an angel or a goddess anymore.
ごめん。さっきまで話してて時間がなかったから食べながらでもいい？
Go ahead.
ありがとう。
It is kind of refreshing.
甘くておいしい。
There's not a single trace of the gentle, kind-hearted Mitsukasa Ayase in the girl before me, lazily munching down on this muffin.
さて、内容が内容だから最初から腹を割って話をしましょう。有原くんも楽にして。
Funny that. Okay.
で、
explain what?
昨日のことに決まってるじゃない。
Oh, right. If you're worried about me discovering the breast pads, then...
ぶっ殺す。誰がそんなことを聞いたか、昨日のことを説明してって言ってるの。
Jeez. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you were talking about me.
わざとやってるんじゃないでしょうね。
Eh.
言っとくけど、これ以上バカにするのなら許さない。
Okay.
ましてや胸タイラとか無乳会長タイラーとかチブタイラーとかもう一回言ったら潰す。
Look, I never did, but just consider it off the table. Wait, hold up. What do you mean? I never once called you any of those things.
ならいいけど。
Also, I'm not sure if I want to ask, but what are you going to do to me that's going to make it so I can't have kids?
は？そんなの決まってるじゃない。もちろん。
Okay. So she has a sense of shame like a normal girl. That's good to know.
細かいことはどうでもいいでしょ。 とにかく変なあだ名をつけたら絶対に後悔させてやる。
I can tell she's gonna be hilariously fun to tease. Frowning, she starts to munch away on her muffin again. Maybe that's just her way of hiding her embarrassment? What is your obsession with these NIF games? I've never called you anything, nor have I ever tried to make fun of you.
いきなりパッドの話を振っておいて何を言うか。
I mean, you brought it up yesterday. I figured that was your biggest worry out of this whole ordeal.
むしろ思い出させないでほしいんですけど。
Okay.
やっぱり完全に見られたのよね。
Well, not really. I just saw the... Oh, actually, I didn't see your breasts. The second silicone bra you had on was covering them, so...
おま、マジぶっ飛ばす。
Why? I was literally stating the truth!
そうじゃない。それでフォローしてるつもり。本気なの？
Okay, fair. You win that one.
神経を逆なでする余計なことしか言ってないことを自覚してほしいんですけど。
No, trust me, I'm just an idiot, okay? I'm sorry. Guess a little lack of conventional skill will do anything. Won't do any. I just lack the conversational skill to do anything helpful in this situation. Might as well just stop trying.
とにかくパッドの話はいいから。それよりも私を守るってどういうこと？
Here we go. I hate lying to people. I feel awful doing it. I felt awful doing it to Nijoin-san, and now I'm gonna have to do it again. I know I don't have a choice. I can't simply tell her everything, but I can't help feeling a little guilty about it. Well, I still have to say something. Can't stand here silently thinking forever. I push my qualms aside and look at Mitsukasa-san straight in the eye. It means exactly what you think it does. I've been tasked with protecting you, and after last night, I don't think that needs explaining why your protection is necessary.
そういうことじゃなくて。
Sorry, but I don't have enough knowledge on the matter to adequately answer your question. All I know is that you'll most likely be targeted again at some point.
どうして私が襲われるの？
Unfortunately, I haven't been informed. But I can promise you I'm not an enemy. I'm on your side, I swear.
じゃあ、あなた何者？
Arihara Satoru. I'm an Astral who started school as second year 2 days ago at Kika Academy. All that is the truth.
でもそれだけじゃない。他の顔もあるでしょ？
Sorry, but I can't answer that.
有原くんの後ろには誰がいるの？まさか今さら個人で動いてるとは言わないわよね。
Sadly, I can't answer that either. I can't answer that.
知らない、答えられないばっかり。何の説明にもなってないんですけど。
Orders are orders. I know, but unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about that. Her glare is rife with suspicion, but after a second, she just sighs and looks away.
まあ、そんなことだろうとは思ってたけど。
I'm kind of surprised you're accepting my non-answers.
少し考えればそれぐらいわかるわよ。この学院、身元の確認は結構厳しいはずなのに、有原くんは普通に転入することができた。
Ah.
かなり特殊な仕事に従事してるんでしょ？
Don't say a word.
しかも昨日の夜透明になってたわよね。でも有原くんのアストラル能力は身体強化。悪いけど調べさせてもらった。つまり能力とは別に透明になれる道具か何かを持ってるってことでしょ？
She's clever.
アストラル使いが特殊な仕事についてて発表すらされてない技術を持ってる。そんな組織がまともであるはずないじゃない。
Touche.
であれば正直に言えないこともあることぐらいは想像がつく。
I'm sorry.
でも何のために私を守るの？あなたたちの組織ってもしかして正義の味方？
No. It's more about what you represent and the fact, but like, it doesn't hurt that you shouldn't be attacked by people. Moral defenders. I wish. We actually break the law on occasion for what we do. Besides, any entity that operates morally wouldn't need to work behind the eyes of the public in the first place. I'm sorry that I have to leave you in the dark, but I just want you to know, as an Astral, want to use my ability to help people. So when I saw you being attacked yesterday, I just had to do something. But I know it's hard to trust a person in this short a time, believe me. The fact of the matter is, though, I did save you yesterday, and I also came here like you asked instead of running away. So could you at least hold off on reporting me for now? I just need some more time to prove myself to you.
わかった。今はそれでいい。
Thanks. Really.
別に。言っとくけど、信頼してるわけじゃないからね。何も言えない相手を信頼できるはずないでしょ。
I know that.
でも、命を助けられたのも事実だから、それぐらいはね。それで、襲撃ってまだ続くの？というか、あいつら何者なの？
It's currently being investigated, and that's all I've been told. But at the very least, they're not affiliated with us. Hence, we can't guarantee your safety in the coming days and weeks. So with that in mind, try to always be with someone when you're out in public. They waited until you were alone yesterday, so it's probably safe to assume they won't attack you if you're with people. I'm not saying it has to be security guard or anything, just a friend would be okay.
わかった。心がける。
Though the problem is when you go off campus for those interviews.
当面は心配ないと思うわ。柿本先生が心配してくれてるから、取材なんかもしばらく断るそうよ。セキュリティも強化するって聞いたしね。
Did they mention what exactly they'd be doing?
詳しいことまでは知らないけど、防犯カメラの数を増やすとか、新しいセンサーを取り付けるとか。
Well, that's gonna be a problem.
機材の設置には時間がかかるから、しばらくはマンパワーで何とかするらしい。それがどうかした？
Oh, no, I just want to understand how secure it'd be. I might have to get in touch with my dad and see if he can figure anything out for me. That also means I'll have to re-scout the campus grounds sometime after they finish installing the stuff. We're in the same class anyway, so you don't really need to tell me about what you're up to in ordinary days. However, I'd like you to tell me if you go off school campus for some reason.
わかった。
Also, can I ask you one more thing?
何？
I was a little curious about something. You are an Astral yourself, right? So why didn't you use your ability when those men attacked you? I mean, her ability was powerful enough to save lives during a building collapse. That was the initial incident that kickstarted her popularity. If there was some reason why you can't, I think it'd be safe to inform me in advance.
まあ、そうよね。同じアストラル使いなら当然の疑問か。使えないわけじゃないわ。
Is it like overkill? Her muffin now finished, she gets up from her chair.
説明代わりに有原くんに向けて能力を使ってもいい？それが一番手っ取り早いと思うから。
Sure. Sure, just don't hurt me, please. Don't use me as a punching bag to vent your anger.
私を守ってくれる人を相手に危ない真似はしないわよ。怪我だってさせない。それに何かの影響が残るような能力でもない。
Really? Perfect.
じゃあ早速。ああ、ちゃんと手加減はするけど、多少は踏ん張ってた方が安全よ。
Huh? Ah! I suddenly feel myself being assaulted by some invisible force. It's very similar to the time when I was being pushed down by psychokinesis. The force is brutal enough I can almost hear my joints creaking. Ah! If I had to describe it, I'd say it's like a downward pressure. Is this some kind of form of psychokinesis? No, she said it leaves no mark. So that would imply it's like a psychic pressure. Whoa! The intense force vanishes all of a sudden. My body feels so light now. Wait, this isn't right. What's going on here? The invisible force hits me again, but it's not quite the same this time around. It's like I've reversed directions. Now I feel my body being pulled toward the ceiling. My heels lift off the ground, shortly followed by my toes, and eventually my whole body's floating upward. So it's gravity manipulation? Ah! Up and down I go until my head finally bumps the ceiling. You're doing this on purpose, aren't you?
違うわよ。ごめんなさい。ちょっと加減を間違えちゃっただけ。もしかしてそんなに痛かった？
Scared the crap out of me, but no, not really. Just slightly hit my head. Man, the floating is such a weird sensation. It's legitimately frightening.
診断では引力と積力の操作だった。
Ah.
下ろすわよ。
Attraction and repulsion. So it's magnetic power, but it's not limited to magnetism. So she controls effectively she has field manipulation. So she can she can replicate the effects of probably gravity and electromagnetic waves and fields of magnetism, but not limited in scope. Yeah. My body, now freed of her power, falls down to the ground. She bought me down pretty gently, so I didn't get hurt at all. Standing on solid ground again, I redirect my eyes toward her. Yeah, I can see why this ability would be handy during a building collapse.
でもこの力の指定は対象物じゃなくて空間なの。だから昨日みたいに相手が近距離にいると自爆しちゃうし、根本的な解決にはならないの。
That makes a lot of sense. Makes sense.
それに能力はオンオフだけじゃなく力の調整が必要だから結構神経を使うのよ。
So it's not really something you can just use on command. Gotcha. This isn't too unusual. She has to adjust power output to control her ability, so activation demands a substantial amount of concentration. I know because my ability works the same way. However, it's possible to drastically shorten the process. You just have to use it enough to the point where it becomes muscle memory almost. It's not quite like the routines Nanami mentioned, but there are people who use auto-suggestion to familiarize their bodies with using their ability. Yeah, by like saying a key phrase or something. Given the nature of our work, all SFD members are able to use their abilities on a moment's notice, including myself. Nanami as well. I know she used those funky incantations that one time, but it's just a thing she enjoys. She'll skip them in emergencies. But it's definitely not something you can just learn overnight. It takes a lot of time and practice to get to the point where you can use your ability like that. Thanks, that answered all my questions. Given the potential for it to affect you as well, you probably shouldn't use it without careful consideration. Can I have your number by any chance? If anything ever happens, I want you to contact me immediately so I can come help you.
教えるのはいいけど、セクハラメールとか送ってこないで。
Wasn't even crossing my mind. What kind of person do you think I am?
聞きたい?
On second thought, no, I'd rather not. That smile of hers is frightening. It's making me shiver. But despite her half reluctance, I still successfully exchanged numbers with her. Great. Here's hoping we can get through this together, Mitsukasa-san.
よろしく。
Albeit very begrudgingly from the looks of it, she has given me a chance, and that's something to be happy about. I no longer have to worry about being taken off from my undercover mission here. And in the process, I've gained another mission on top of it, protecting this girl named Mitsukasa Ayase. Interesting.
Riddle Joker.
That has been really, really interesting. Chapter 1-4, but that's the perfect place for us to end. Because, whoo, that was an exciting one. Woo, color me intrigued. Alright, so I'm hoping we get, like, more about the other potential, like, you know, romanceable characters so far. Because, the black-haired girl seems, like, really cool. The scientist girl's hilarious. And Ayase is probably the most interesting. But she's scary. Like, I don't know if I find her, like, as, like, oh, like, maybe, like, her route's the one I want to go down, as much I'm like, who are you? Like, I want to learn more about her as a character, so maybe she'll grow on me. She's definitely caught my, like, most immediate attention because of that, like, the turnaround of, like, who she is, and, like, learning that she has this very big facade that's not just emotional, but physical. And I'd be super curious to see more about who she is as a person, because, like I said, because she has that facade so much, I'm guessing she's not as, like, normally. I'm guessing that's all just kind of, like, exasperated as, like, you know, it's like releasing a pressure valve. If she could just be herself more, I bet you she'd be a lot more, like, chill, but more, like, I don't know, like, determined and self-actuating, and that is something I would find very attractive. So we'll see how I feel about all that in the future. But we are done for today, so thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had a great time. I certainly did. Though my voice, whilst I've been recovering, has definitely been in decline this week. Like, as I record videos, it kind of goes down again. So I'm glad I have a weekend to take a break. Hopefully I get fully recovered over the weekend and I can just move back into a normal schedule without, like, hacking my lungs out every other time. And the thing is, like, I spare you from the worst of it, honestly. Like, there are times where I have to, like, step away and, like, cough out my lungs, so I'm glad it's not as bad. But I appreciate you sticking around. Thank you especially to the patrons. Again, you guys picked a great game for me to play here. Thank you so much. And make sure you guys send your love to them, because we wouldn't be playing this without their direct contributions and their direct input. So thank you them in the comments, please. And also give yourself a nice big, I don't know, I don't know, whatever to say. Like, thank you for even watching this and even watching to the end credits here. I appreciate you. I hope you have a great rest of your day and rest of your weekend, and look forward to seeing you on Monday. So until next video watching me, I'll see you next. I'll see you there.